Anthony Hartwig here with a Hubbard player profile. We're going into gymnastics in the world of gymnastics. Addie Sarisky, senior at Hubbard, joining us today. Addie, thank you so much for coming on talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
So, we talked about it before I hit record. You're kind of lighting the world on fire right now in the world of gymnastics, and you just made a really big decision, a while ago, and you finally signed on the dotted line at last week, right? That's when your signing day was.
Yeah.
So before we get into all the excitement of all you've been through in your journey, let's just get it out in the open. What was the decision on where you're going to spend your college career and where you're going to go continue your athletic career?
When deciding, I actually decided super early. I decided to commit about 2 weeks after June 15th, which is when all the colleges were able to talk to me. And I just, from the coaches and the campus and all the girls on the team already, it just felt like home.
Yeah, and you're going to Alabama, just so people that aren't aware are coming. So what was it about the Crimson Tide? Obviously, the SEC is full of just fantastic gymnastics programs. So what was it about the Tide in Alabama that made you want to call that place home?
It's the coaches and the team aspect that they bring, and just how it just always feels like a family, and they always put each other before themselves and just want to succeed as a team.
When you kind of, one, got the offer, but two, made that commitment so quickly, what was that moment like for you, realizing that a dream that I'm sure you've had for a long time was finally coming true?
Oh my gosh, I was so excited when they offered me. I was so excited. I knew that that's where I was gonna go because it was just always in my head, like Alabama, like it was always like my top school. So when they offered me, and then when I committed, I was just so excited.
So not only was college gymnastics a dream come true, but Alabama itself was a dream you had. What was it about Alabama before they even offered you that made it like that highlight school, that top school, that one that you really wanted to go to?
Just watching them on TV and the way that the coaches interacted with all the girls.
Mhm.
And I went to camp 2 years prior. I just, like, after meeting all the coaches and training with them, like I just knew that's where I wanted to be.
We'll definitely get back to talking about Alabama and what your future holds, but let's rewind a little bit, talk about your journey in gymnastics. When did you start this sport, and when did it kind of turn into something that was, really serious, that you were taking as seriously as you do now?
I started when I was 3, and then I started competition when I was 6 years old in kindergarten, and then I just kept moving up, up the levels and everything. And then when I started, like, my first year of level 10, which is the highest level for Dev, I was in 6th grade, and it was just kind of, I kind of just kept, like, moving up, and that's when I knew, like, I wanted to do college gymnastics and just wanted to keep pushing myself to see how far I could go.
So in that moment, there's a lot of pressure when you realize you're that good at something, right? I mean, like the success comes with, okay, I got to keep raising the bar. How did you handle kind of the whirlwind of keep moving up, keep moving up, keep moving up, but also more pressure, more pressure, more pressure?
My coaches have always just been super supportive and pushing me and just getting me to where I need to go, and just always helping me take that one step further.
Now, for people that maybe don't know the world of gymnastics, I mean, there's working hard and then there's gymnastics work hard when you're talking about the elite level that you're in. Give people kind of a peek behind the curtain on just how much you're in the gym, how much you work at your craft, and how much really goes into getting yourself to where you're at.
I practice every day, Monday through Friday. I practice 4 hours a day, so I'm always in the gym right after school. I start at 3:15 and end at 7:15. So it's always just kind of practice, and then that just kind of builds up and gets you to where you need to go.
4-hour practices every day. You add up, you do the math. That's so much time in the gym. I am sure there are days, there are moments, there are hours where you're not feeling it. Maybe you're not having a good day, but there's something that keeps you driven, that always keeps you coming back to the gym. What is that for you?
It's just always that I want to make myself better. I want to push myself to be better. And so those days where you don't want to be there are definitely tough, but you have to get through them if you want to keep pushing yourself to make yourself better.
Now, obviously, you have accolades because a school like Alabama wouldn't want you if you didn't have the resume to put on their table. National champion all around. What's it like to kind of have that kind of scope and that kind of success and to be able to call yourself a national champion?
I'm very grateful. It's just something I've been working for a long time. Like going to nationals each year, you're just always trying to get to that point. So when I finally got it this past year, I was just so excited because it was just something I've been working towards, and just seeing it finally pay off was just super. It felt really rewarding.
Now, do you have a favorite routine? Do you have one of the ones, obviously all around you're good at all of them, or you wouldn't be able to win that, but what's the what one do you think would be like your strength, your strongest routine?
Beam. Beam is definitely one of my strongest, and it's my favorite.
And then we'll flip that. What's the one that like maybe you have to work the hardest at? Maybe I don't want to say least favorite because I feel like you probably have a passion for all of them, but which one is the one that doesn't come as naturally to you?
Probably vault. It's probably my lowest one right now.
And still high enough to do the things that you've been able to do. Let's talk about kind of doing all that, but also keeping a social life and being a student. What's it like kind of balancing that? Because I know a lot of gymnasts out there, because of the work they put in, they've had to kind of sacrifice the school life and maybe be what where do you stand on that? Like how have you been able to juggle school and social life and gymnastics?
So I'm also a majorette for my high school, which I'm very grateful that I was able to do that, because a lot of girls are not allowed to do anything other than gymnastics. They're not allowed to do anything other than go to the gym, practice, can be all that stuff. And so I was able to do both majorette and gymnastics. So I was able to go and be on the field every Friday, and that really just helped me like connect with everyone like in my school and everything, just being around them more, as well as balancing gymnastics.
Now, are you an in-school student or do you get homeschooled from Hubbard?
I go to school.
Okay. So that being said, how important is that? Because like I said, we've had a lot of gymnasts that we hear about in the national scene that kind of forego public school and they go into the private school or they go into homeschooling. How important was it for you, especially early development, to say, "Hey, I got to stay in the school system. I have to maintain that part of my life."
I really wanted to stay with all my friends. I think it's so important to be able to have that social life, as well as like do gymnastics and have practice all the time. It's just kind of a escape almost, because then you have the two sides. You get to be with your friends all day at school and then go to the gym and practice. And a lot of my friends, through gymnastics, a lot of them are homeschooled and do like online school and go to the gym all the time. And I just think it's really important that you have the two, like the balance of social life and gymnastics.
Gymnasts have to push their body to the extremes. What are some adversities that you've had to face throughout your career that you've kind of had to tough through, and then talk about how you got through those adversities as well?
So just some adversities like are just injuries, they're gonna come. Like if you're practicing that much and pushing yourself, you're gonna have injuries, you're gonna have things that hurt. And it's important to take the time when there is an injury or something, take the time, rest, get full back to 100%, so you can get back in the gym and keep working. And luckily for me, both my parents are physical therapists. So every time that I've had an ache, a pain, an injury, something like that, it's always our number one priority that I get back to 100% before I start practicing again.
Wow, you really lucked out. You hit the jackpot. Hey, I'm going to be a very successful athlete in a sport that demands, pushing myself physically, but I have two physical therapists at home. That is a gold mine. Talk about your parents through this journey and what they've meant to you. Obviously, there's been so much travel, so much probably sacrifice in their life to get you where you need to go. What do they mean to you in this journey of that you've been on?
I'm so grateful for everything that they've done for me. We're always traveling, always going different places for gymnastics, and they've sacrificed so much. They're always taking me where I need to go. Before, like when I need to go to practices, they were always the one driving me to practices, to all the competitions all over the country, flying different places, getting me out of the country for gymnastics, and just everywhere I need to go. And they've just been so supportive.
You have a lot of great moments, obviously, a lot of great wins. What is one memory that sticks in your head as kind of your favorite memory so far in gymnastics?
Probably this past year at nationals, I had my beam routine was my last event I needed to go, and I knew that I was like kind of up in the
Mhm.
rankings, and I knew I just needed to go and like hit a beam routine. And as soon as I landed, I was relieved and just super excited, because I like didn't know anything until about 10 minutes later, but I knew as soon as I landed that like I gave it my all, and that's all I could do. And then I ended up winning, which was so amazing.
once every 4 years, your sport becomes the most popular sport in the world in the summer because gymnastics is one of the highest rated Olympic sports that NBC can put on. That's why it gets the primetime slot. What's it like as a gymnast to kind of let everyone else in on the world, let everyone else in on your world, I should say, every 4 years, and to see everyone else kind of get excited about the sport that you're excited for year round?
I get every time the Olympics comes on, I get all these text messages like, "Oh my gosh, are you watching this? Are you watching this?" I'm like, "Yes," and I know everything that's happening, and they're the ones texting me and asking me what's happening, and it's really exciting that it's growing and people are watching the sport, and it's just really amazing that everyone comes together and watches it.
Who was your favorite gymnast when you were growing up? Someone that you wanted to kind of emulate yourself after?
Nastia Lukin. I loved her, and actually, she has a competition. It's called the Nastia Lukin Cup, and
Mhm.
it's a meet you have to qualify into, and so you have to get the top score out of every session, every age group to qualify into. And there's 22 senior spots and 22 junior slots, like for the whole meet. And I've had the opportunity to qualify to that twice now, and so being able to meet her and compete at her meet, it's been amazing.
Hey, no one better to look up to than the 2008 all-around champion, right? So, like, let's go, bringing it back for the USA and holding off that Chinese team back in 2008. That was a incredible Olympics to watch for sure. When you think about, like, you obviously have gotten to meet her. I don't know how much you got to talk to her, but if you kind of had the chance to kind of pick her brain and ask her about her journey and ask her about like advice that she would give to you, what are some things that you would be asking her about what she went through?
Just kind of like what she thought about before going on each event, how she balanced, everything, and just how she went out with her best foot forward every time and locked herself onto each event, and just kind of how she pushed herself and got herself to that spot.
Gymnastics is a sport that is team oriented, but then also individualistic. And Nasia can kind of attest to this, like a lot of gymnasts in the Olympics, because you compete at the team event, and then you go in the individuals. What's it like for you balancing being a teammate, being there for your teammates, and being that, but also when it's your time to be in the all around, all of a sudden you have to compete with those teammates and try to be the best out there.
That's one thing. I'm super excited to have a team. That's why I'm so excited about college, is because right now I don't have much of a big team. I have about four or five other girls that I'll compete with for team this year, but it's normally in like super individual, so it's kind of hard because you want to do good for yourself, but you also want your teammates to do well. So you got to be positive. You got to just be their biggest fans, and that's a big thing in college. It's super team oriented, and you just want what's best for your team.
Since you just said you haven't had much of a huge team yet, who has been someone that's been like your rock? Do you have a gymnast that you travel with a lot, that you're with a lot, that is kind of like your partner that in crime per se that you have that you can go to and you guys can share your journeys together?
So before this year, I kind of competed by myself up until one of my best friends. She quit the sport for a little bit, but then she came back. McKenna Trolio. She quit and came back this year, and I'll finally get to compete with her. And I'm so excited because she'll be one of my teammates again this year, and we'll compete all season together. And she's definitely like my partner in crime in the gym and out of the gym. And I'm just so excited to get to finally compete with her this year.
Okay, before we let you go, let's take this back full circle, back to signing day. Committing is one thing, but then signing on the dotted line and making it a clear-cut reality is another. What was that moment like for you when you signed and there was nothing that was ever going to take away that you were going to be a college gymnast?
As soon as I signed those papers, I was just so excited, grateful. I just couldn't believe that my dream was finally coming true. Especially competing at or will be at Bama and everything. Just finally making that official was just insane, and I'm so excited.
I'm sure in that moment you got to get real reflective on everything you've been through in your career. What are some things that you're the most proud of yourself for being able to accomplish when you kind of reflect on all the things that you've already done?
Just the Couple things that I'm most proud of is just kind of balancing everything and just making goals for myself and pushing myself to reach those goals, and just again pushing myself in the gym. Set like and when you accomplish those goals that you set for yourself, there's no better feeling. So that's what I'm most proud of.
Addie, on YSN, we end these player profiles the same way every time. We want to give you the time to take the spotlight off yourself for a minute and shine on the people in your life that mean the most to you, that have kind of been there for you throughout your journey. So I want to give you the time as much as you want to give out thank yous and shout outs to the people that you know deserve it.
My parents, definitely. My parents are always so supportive and are just so amazing. My brother, my two coaches in the gym, they're always pushing me to be my best. And just all of my best friends at school, in the gym, and all over the country that I've met through gymnastics.
Addie, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. We're so proud of you at YSN, proud that Hubbard can call one of their students a national champion. That is so awesome. And we thank you for your time, and we'll see you again real soon.
Thank you.